All right, guys, we have a little bit of the Lexington Doggerino update, I guess, after she made her abysmal video, her follow-up to the SuperMega thing, where she just looks so bad, and I'll link my coverage of it in the description. Incredible stuff. She mentioned this one guy, and his name was Jim, I think, and I had actually covered his original video in my original SuperMega coverage, and it's chaptered. I'll put that in the description as well. But it basically recalled a time where they were both drunk and they got together and they gave each other a little smooch. Didn't really seem like that big of a deal. She made it seem like a huge deal. Maybe she's right. Problem is she lies so much. I don't believe any of her story. Sorry, brothers. That's the problem. You can't make hours and hours and hours of content and say this thing happened to me and it's valid. By the way, here's a bunch of verifiable lies. How am I going to take your credibility? Either you lie about a lot of stuff, or you have a bad perception on the world. And so you're telling your truth, but your truth is not along the lines of reality. So, I'm curious what he had to say as a response. So let's see what we got here. Here's what he says. It says, in regards to Lex's recent video. Wow, she only has like 2 videos on her channel. I wonder which one it is. The one from a year ago or this one? Hi there. Oh, sorry. Let me start over. Hey. There's been something weighing heavy on my mind I'd like to discuss. Last July, I was mentioned in a video by Lex, a.k.a. Nice UpDog. Well, I thought it was Lex UpDog. Regarding an encounter where she claimed to have been made uncomfortable by my conduct. And by the way, you're allowed to be uncomfortable. That doesn't mean that somebody did something wrong to you. I make people uncomfortable all the time on accident. Okay, I'm a nice guy. Sometimes I get a little crazy. Okay, you know what I mean? Like sometimes I go a little too crazy. But people get uncomfortable all the time. That doesn't mean that they did something terrible to you. When I saw this, I reached out to Lex, offering a deep apology and an offer to talk further if she felt comfortable doing so. It was not the right plan. You're just validating her incorrect interpretation of the world. I was extremely shocked, confused, and ashamed of these allegations. I had absolutely no clue how to respond to a public situation such as this one. And in my emotional state, I realized a video apologizing to Lex and touching on my own experience with being a victim of, oh, that was the end of the sentence, sorry. I felt that this was the best way to properly handle things at the time. But I believe I made an error in judgment with how I went about my response, and in turn, my video was poorly received shortly after I removed my video. Okay. I wonder if his issue was he felt like he caved in too much. Because here's the thing. It's good to be sensitive, but some people will take advantage of your kindness and sensitivity. And so you have to find the fine line between being like a sensitive person and an empathetic person and standing firm on your values. You really just have to find the fine line. Because, somebody can come forward with something, and if you overvalidate those people, like, that's just feeding their fucking ego. And I think in Lex's case, it's an issue of like she's just seeing what she can get away with. She's pushing boundaries. She's pushing online social boundaries to see what she can get away with. Kind of like a typical man. Guys, quick question: Lex UpDog or bear in the woods? I think I'll take the bear because that honey hole might be sweet. If you know what I'm saying. Plus, I haven't seen it on OnlyFans leaks. It's something new, The last 9 months have been incredibly taxing to me. My mental health, my work life, and my friends and family. I've lost my job, relationships, and my entire reputation has been irreparably damaged. I wonder if he lost his job. I don't know what his job is. Maybe he lost it because the stress. He was overwhelmed with like stress, or maybe he lost it because they saw the video. I have no fucking idea. I would like to move on from this best I can, and in doing so, my therapist has suggested how do you have a therapist and no job? That's fucking crazy. I share my full perspective on things. Do we believe that the therapist said that? I mean, it's quite possible. Or maybe he's just like, what if I bring my therapist? I'm just when people bring up therapy on the internet, I roll my eyes. I'm like, you really go to a therapist, bro? Come on. Are you really that cool? Not an attempt to sway public opinion. That's exactly what it is. But at the very minimum, to feel heard, which I have not felt. I initially planned to not say anything further and try my best to move on, but with the release of a new video by Lex in which my regretful apology and essay story is mocked and used as blackmail over me, with the intention of humiliating and shaming me as an essay victim. Okay, I think I remember his thing. They were together. She might have expressed her uncomfortable scenario with Dom. I don't know if it was sexual assault. It's hard to believe this woman. She's such a liar. And then he expressed that he had a thing that happened when he was younger as well. Terrible stuff. And they kind of bonded over that. And he's like, "Can I kiss you?" And I think she said, "Yeah." I'm pretty sure that was what it was. And she did. And then it got uncomfortable. That's life, man. Sometimes you're not a good kisser. Okay. He's got a big nose. And sometimes that gets in the way when you're trying to give a big kiss. I don't really know. But again, uncomfortableness doesn't matter. I don't care. Okay, so shut up. I'm tired. Oh, I'm uncomfortable. Oh, I'm uncomfortable. Shut the fuck up, okay? Just uncomfortable doesn't mean that you were violent. I've fucked girls before that I didn't want to fuck. Because I message them on Tinder and they look nice on their profile pictures. You know what I mean? You know how it is. Some of these girls, they look nice on their profile. They got the pictures up here. They're like, "Yo, what's up?" And you're like, "Wow, this girl is very attractive. Like, let me take them on a date." And then you go on a date, but it's kind of dark out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like things aren't going too bad, but then all of a sudden you see him in the light, and you're like, "Oh, Jesus Christ!" I know I'm dog shit ugly, but goddamn, I'd have to be a fucking werewolf to fuck this girl. And just so happens that it is the full moon out, brother. So you go in there. And you got to go in there and you got to get the job done. I've been there too. It's uncomfortable. But, that doesn't mean that they took advantage of me. I just felt bad and I felt like I had to do it. I had to go in on that. You know what I mean? I gave them the best commercial break of their life. You know what I mean? It was a beautiful thing. It was perfectly paced from start to finish. I think I finished on a Petco commercial. Nothing wrong with that. I just got excited when I heard that there was a discount on dog treats. Because they're not that bad. Some of them taste like beef jerky. It's kind of cheaper, Plus, if you eat those dental sticks, you don't have to brush your teeth. Yeah, smelly. A lot of women I've noticed, and I'm not going to say that I don't have smelling problems, because I used to go out to eat after work. So, guys probably just stink. That's just the default. But I've met some girls that, they smell like what they eat. You know what I mean? And I think that would mean that I would smell like hamburgers because Jesus. But I'm lucky my wife doesn't. She doesn't have any odor. It's actually bizarre. It's actually interesting. I heard that there's apparently, like, if you have a psoriasis, that means that you have a higher chance of not having of smelling like water. I don't know what that is. I heard that's very anecdotal. Don't look that up. Don't take my word for it because everybody will think you're lying. Anyway, that was sorry. I'm a little drunk. I didn't tell anybody at the beginning of this. I got a little tipsy tonight. Over a year later, when Lex's retelling of that night was shared, my honest reaction was a mix of intense shock and overwhelming confusion. Shouldn't have been apologetic in your original video. Confusion as to why she had never told me she felt the way she did. Confusion as to why she chose. This says choose. Why she choose to go this route instead of even attempting to make me aware of her feelings. Because it wasn't about that. It was about weaponizing experiences that she had to try to hurt other people. Okay? It didn't make sense to me. After the night of the party, we continued to hang out and spend plenty of time together. Now, of course, socially, even if somebody did assault you, it can be common in some instances to still be with that person and to deny the event ever happened. And Lex, again, in my opinion, will hide behind that very real thing, hide behind a trauma response that survivors have, some, that I don't think that she has. But I just want to be clear. And again, I could be wrong. Based on her story and everything that she said, I don't think that she's a particularly credible person. I don't think that she's a particularly good person. I think that she's a very lazy person. I don't think that she appreciates her friends. I think that she's a piece of I think she's a piece of UpDog. Incredible stuff. Plenty of time together, seemingly without any awkwardness or issues. We went on a road trip together. I attended her birthday dinner and saw her on a regular basis on account of her living at the office at the time. Wow. I have a little bit of a yawn. Yawn up, dog. It's not even funny, but I still said it. To learn of these feelings for the first time in such a public way was deeply humiliating and hard to understand. It was clear that Lex never had any intention of trying to address this issue with me. She instead chose to publicly share it. Is choose 2 O's or chose? Fuck, I think I'm wrong. Chose is 010. I'm a dumb piece of shit. Instead chose to publicly share it with hundreds of thousands of people, just as she did recently with my text in which I was apologizing to her and offering to talk further if she'd be open. She never responded. It was clear I was now a person she deemed incapable of having a discussion with. Just to be clear, Jimothy, you're not somebody, in my opinion, of course, you're not a person she deemed incapable of having a discussion with. She's the person incapable of having a discussion. Like I said, there are going to be people that you're going to meet, and you're going to have to learn this, that they will weaponize every situation you have with them to their benefit. It doesn't matter what it is. Okay, I've been with people before where I was paying for like everything that they had, and the second they got a job and they paid for one thing, they're like, "Oh, well, I paid today, so maybe you get the next one." Brother, please. Like, what? You know, you take them here, you take them there, you take them out to eat. All of a sudden, they take you out once. They basically act like you never did anything. That's Lex, but like times 1,000. Okay, she's a poo-poo head, stinky little wiener. She had decided exactly what type of person I was, and didn't think I deserved a chance to make amends or have a positive reputation. It was the public's decision now, and there was no conversation to be had. I have been continuously harassed, lost friends, and publicly called a sexual predator and even a rapist. Who? In public? Fuck. You know, somebody once called me that at Chuck E. Cheese before. I don't know why I made that joke. We're going to pretend I didn't. Thank you so much for the $2 from Mr. Sign 12. Papa, this stinks. Turn on the new Kendrick diss. I don't think I can, brother, or my stream will get naked now. Thank you, JoJo16, for the small gut. It is also entirely untrue that I placed Lex in a headlock of any sort. I don't even remember that, to be honest with you. I would have too, dude. I would have gave her like a, what do they call it? Like a DDT or like a running bulldog, you know? I was painted as an aggressive monster who was as rough as I wanted to be, with no concern for the other party. If I ever put my arm around her shoulder at any point and she was uncomfortable, she never indicated that to me. Well, of course, Lex would just say that she was paralyzed with fear from this big spooky man putting her arm around her neck. You know? And of course, her captors, SuperMega, who wouldn't let her leave or move out of the office or go on vacations, they were complicit. Of course, all they did was fire Don and blacklist him behind the scenes of all work because of the allegations that she leveraged against him that were never actually verified. Fuck me in the ass. You know? Other than a weak apology from Dom that said, I'm sorry you felt that way. That seemed genuine. Can I just tell you that I've been pretty consistent from the start saying I don't really believe her story. And if you disagree with me, I understand. But I think you understand why I don't. She's a lying poo-poo head. But some dumb motherfucker in my comments was like, said, I kind of almost want to read it because it pissed me off. And I'm like, I try not to respond to comments. First of all, if I do respond to comments, I only want to respond to positive ones. I'm going to try to do that because, you guys are nice. You guys deserve. Why am I going to respond to some dookie wienerhead? You know what I'm saying? But somebody pissed me the fuck off with the comment they left. I don't even know if I can find it. I don't even think I'm going to be able to find it. It's an old comment. But it was said something along the lines of like, oh, Papa Gut is still over-validating her story. Blah, 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 blah. Saying that it actually happened. And I was like, dude, are you stupid, motherfucker? You know? Oh, here it is. This is stupid-ass motherfucker. I feel like someone needs to emphasize that all this poor Ned guy did was push her head down once. This is it. Lex went on to finish the X act and continued dating him for months. I don't know who the fuck Ned is. I think he meant Dom. It terrifies me how many people are still like Papa Gut. I guess because I'm obese. And just automatically accept that an assault occurred. I think from the start, I've been fucking... Even in this video, if Anthony Shoop 575 watched this video, I was consistently saying I don't trust her word in general. So I don't know. Maybe this guy has a goddamn comprehension problem. How many lies and shady shit does this creature have to commit before we start considering that maybe she decided to turn an awkward moment into a kill shot to revenge campaign? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if you watch the fucking video, you stupid fuck. Meanwhile, this poor guy, who basically lost his job and reputation, which continues when people like Papa Gut just say that he did assault Lex, has never once had anyone take his side. Like, are you fucking You stupid motherfucker. You dumb motherfucker. Okay? If we live in a world where Ned's situation and treatment is considered anything but Travis... Who the fuck is Ned? By the way, am I missing? Is this guy? Who the fuck is Ned? Like, declassified? School survival guide? I don't know. I don't know who Ned... Am I thinking of somebody? Who the fuck is Ned? Because the other guy's name... Isn't the other guy's name fucking Jim? His name is Jim Tropolis. Like, who the fuck is Ned? Maybe I'm the stupid ass. Wow, I can't spell. Let me see if there's a Ned. I'm going to look at the chaptered video I have. Jesus. How'd you have that happen? This isn't not the right one. This is the chaptered one.
And out of all...
Hold on. Relax. Lex. Matt. Ryan. Jim. Don. There's no Ned. You stupid motherfucker. Has never once anyone taken a side. If we live in a world where this guy is committing to Ned. I don't know who the fuck Ned is. Situation and treatment is considered anything but a travesty of justice. Well, I'm not sure what the hell society is worth anymore. Online accusations and cancel culture need to be demonized until even pothead psychopaths or sociopaths like Lex and Ethan comprehend it. Choose your words more wisely from now on, Papa. You dumb motherfucker. You stupid, dumb doo-doo head. Anyway, I wanted to complain about that. Thank you so much for the 16-month small guy from Doctors 2391. Thank you so much. Give me a kiss. Here you go. I don't know who Ned is, man, but he's a really good guy. I don't know. Anyway, I forgot where I was. If I ever put my arm around her shoulder at any point, then she was uncomfortable. She never indicated that to me. I'm not a mind reader, and I was unfortunately only able to act on the information and responses given to me by Lex. Fair enough. I understand that women might feel comfortable around guys because we're super strong, cool. But you gotta affirm your boundaries, okay? And guys, you gotta listen to those boundaries. It's a two-way street, okay? Just like my booty hole. When the initial video dropped, I felt a strong sense of shame and sadness. Shame at potentially misreading a situation, and sadness at making somebody feel uncomfortable, uneasy, or unsafe. Wow. In my apology video, you know what? Let's just be real here, brother. Let's just be real. I'm old. In my apology video, I spoke on how I am the victim of SA. This was interpreted by many as me trying to garner sympathy for myself or get a get out of jail free. My intention did not translate as I had meant it to. All I wanted was to let Lex know that I have felt the way she has. Just to be clear, this guy more credible. So let's assume that this happened, right? The biggest reason is because he's not saying this person assaulted me. He's just like, hey, here's my experience. And he could be lying, but you know what? He's not trying to weaponize. He's not trying to go after somebody. Either he's lying to get out of something, or maybe this is the truth. I wouldn't doubt that. I don't want to be invalidating. So like but you don't know how she feels because she's a lying poo-poo doo-doo butt. So if anything, you gotta what happened to her? What's the worst accusation? She was with her boyfriend Dom. He wanted some head, and he was being overly pushy, which is not good. It's not good. This is the worst interpretation. And then he stopped after she said like to stop, and it was multiple times. This is the worst interpretation of the story. Don't think it's the same thing as somebody who's been like assaulted. I don't know. You know, if the worst case scenario is that's not a good interaction, it might be considered classified as some form of assault. But I mean, the way that she's acting is like she was violently assaulted, and I have no credibility for her. I don't have any. I don't feel bad. She doesn't. To me, she just seems like a liar. So like, I can't interpret it like, and I don't care. Like, she's a piece of shit. I don't even know if it's true. And it was not something I took lightly. I took my apology video down shortly after. At the end of the day, I was only doing what I thought was the best. But I know now that I've made mistakes, and I was too quick to rush out a response in the haze of my emotions. I've now had many months to reflect on things, and until Lex's most recent upload, I have tried to accept my perception and where people stand on me. I've tried my hardest to move past this. In her new video, Lex not only mocks me as a victim of sexual assault, but has included a Dropbox link in the video description for anyone and everyone to download my apology video. As stated earlier, the apology video includes my story of being sexually assaulted, and while I might have been short-sighted in sharing it publicly, it is not her story to have ownership over. That's fair, because here's the thing, and this is what's so wild to me. is that there are people who claim to have some kind of sexual trauma. Lex, Katie Bugs, bitch. And what I meant by that is you're a good person. Sorry. To me, it seems very. Listen, I've talked to plenty of people with like legitimate survivors, we'll say traumas from these situations, and none of them. It was hard for them to even tell me somebody who, in every one of these instances, was like was close to them. So it's like, how do you come on the internet and be so brazen about something with like no showing of emotion? Because you know, it doesn't mean anybody who comes forward on the internet and talks about it is lying. I'm not saying that. It's just I find it so bizarre that like none of these people seem to really have that much energy invested into it, because it's a devastating thing, and talking about it again, you have to relive it, and it's not something you don't cry about. In my opinion, crying is okay. And it just it seems like, I don't know, it just comes off as ingenuine. I think part of it's that's why a lot of them say like, I was just building up my strength to tell my story. I don't think that you were. I think a lot of these people are sensationalizing it, you know. And like I said, not like people can come forward and talk about it, but it just seems so not like, it's just not necessarily normal. I don't know. Maybe I'm casting too much doubt on this story. It is not her story to dangle over my head and torment me with. I don't think that's, by the way, that's very understandable. It's hard to understand. And by the way, I also understand like expressing something on the internet, like a very traumatic moment on the internet, and then like wishing you never did. I totally get that. You know, that's a lot. And that just adds to your trauma. That's why a lot of times I say to people, like, maybe you shouldn't, you know, coming out publicly about stuff like this, that could just add to your trauma. That's not necessarily helpful. Like, talk to somebody in private, a loved one, a family member, which would be a loved one, but a therapist. These are people. Sorry, I'm not trying to yawn. Just had a long day. These are people that you really should be talking to about these things, not just fucking Tom, Dick, and Jane on the internet. That was an old fucking weird reference. Hard to understand why somebody would want a video of them opening up. Would not want a video of them opening up about their own sexual assaults spread across the internet and used as a weapon against them. I have been deeply humiliated by this, and I find it incredibly cruel to do. As the purpose of her new video wasn't even about me, my essay is my story to tell, and I find it disgusting that she won't let me move on from my mistake of including that information in my video. It's highly inappropriate for one essay victim to mock and shame another publicly like this, as if mine is just a fun toy to build themselves up and tear me down. Damn. Those are some real powerful words, brother. Okay, I respect it. There's one last one here. I have spent months struggling to understand why nobody wanted to see me as a person who could have made a mistake or misread a situation. I'm wondering, did this really have like real life negative impacts? Because I feel like this is a very online situation, but I could just be wrong. I don't fucking know. Ned's the GOAT. Yeah, you're right. Ned is the GOAT. Okay. Instead, this one alleged thing had now defined me as a person, and I was not given the grace to be someone who made a mistake, but as a monster who was capable of nothing but evil and no reputation. Here's my thing. You know, I hate to be that guy, but like, I think that the Me Too movement was a very powerful, positive thing. There are a lot of women who have been treated very, and people in general, not just women, people in general, but mostly women, it seems at least, that have been in a very unfortunate, traumatic, violating situation, and now finally there's a little bit of like reprieve. You can come forward, you can feel confident, you can feel comfortable, you can feel okay. And I think that's a beautiful thing, generally speaking. But like all advocacy movements, sometimes they go a little far, and I feel like Lex is Lex, Katie Bugs. These are representations of a very good movement going too far, right? Going a little too far. You know, we were in a bad spot. Here's where we needed to be, and then we just went past it too much. And in my opinion, it's a factor as to why some people gravitate towards Red Pill. I hate to say it, but if you look at Red Pill, the way that, you know, SuperMega got treated is similar, if not worse, publicly, socially, not by the police, then Andrew Tate was treated, and he, like, actually, from all the information out, was like legitimate sex trafficking rapist. And it's like, in that sphere, though, they don't care about women. They don't care about women being assaulted. And that's a very bad thing. But, you know, you have, like, from a guy's perspective, in this case, it's like, you know, you see stuff like this where people are sensationalizing and in my opinion, lying about their trauma, you know. So, and then it only takes a couple of them, and all of a sudden you're like, fuck these people. You want to stay out of that sphere, and then you might be in, like, this sphere where it's like, well, they are very charitable to people who are even disgusting pieces of shit. You know, maybe that's where I want to camp myself. I'm not saying it's the only thing pushing people there. I'm saying that it's a factor, in my opinion. You know, you can't be going around just fucking saying whatever the fuck you want. It's a very serious thing, you know? As with every single person on the earth, I am a human being. Wow. I'm a coffee bean. And humans make mistakes. On the internet, I think it's very easy to forget that and reduce me down to just a guy online who you've been told is a predator or a creep and am void of any feeling and only deserve punishment. I'm not asking for public forgiveness nor sympathy. I'm not saying I haven't messed up in the past. I genuinely just need to speak my true and honest feelings. After Lex's recent video, I feel that it's important for me to share my perspective if I ever truly want to move on. Thank you for taking the time to read all of this. I appreciate it. Yeah, man, listen. We don't know what really happened, but Lex is not a particularly good person. I always like to be charitable to people. This guy, I wouldn't doubt that this is like a real valid story that he's telling. He gives us no reason not to trust him or believe him. Lex gives us every reason not to trust or believe him. And yeah, you know, I feel like he's telling the truth. Could be wrong, but Lex is putting herself into a situation where she has no credibility. So, yeah.